Here we find ourselves again.
No guest.
Turns out no one gives a shit about us. No, people just have their own lives, and we got to work around them.
Yeah. We'll get into the LA discourse later.
Truly.
Because that's LA. Very LA thing.
But anyways, my name is Patrick.
And Scott.
And this is... I used to work
at a bar on Franklin. You caught me mid matcha sip.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how could you have known what was about to happen, you know?
Introducing the pod. Mm-hmm. I had no idea.
Yeah. So what's been going
on? First of all, my mother texted me at 10 p.m. last night.
Last night.
Yeah. 10 p.m. last night, she texted me and says, mind you, my parents are mid-divorce. For those who don't know.
Yeah, we're breaking news.
Newsflash, my parents are getting divorced.
For the first time on the pod, we're talking about this.
She texted me at 10 p.m. last night, and she's like, hey, your father is posting some weird things on Facebook. No fear, but I just want you to be aware. And I just didn't respond. And then this morning, I was like, wait, what was she talking about?
So you saw that last night, like in the midst of us?
I was at work.
Well, yeah, you were still on the clock. We were at our coworker. Well, you were doing your job.
We were at the bar we used to work at on Friday.
Yeah. One of our coworkers was it was her last day on Earth.
So we celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the clock, so I didn't respond. And then this morning, I was like, "Wait, what?" And so I go on Facebook. And the first thing I see is just my dad has posted a black and white photo of Tupac Shakur with the quote, "Sometimes the person you'd take a bullet for is the one behind the gun." I was like, is this what I should be aware of? And then the next post was like a picture of like a $7 gas price at a gas station. And he said, this is high even for California.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which post was it? Which one am I
supposed to be aware of?
Was it both of them? Like, just so you know, your dad's posting about gas prices again.
He's posting really weird stuff. No fear.
Yeah, that's so funny. The Tupac thing. And it's timely, too, because they're... I don't know if Tupac ever said that, nor will I. I
don't think he did. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that meme to me so many times on Twitter, and I'm like, when I saw Tupac Shakur on there, I was like, wait.
When did he say that? After he got murdered? By the person he would take a bullet for?
Don't you know it was his last words?
It's sometimes the person you would take. Well, no, it's funny because right now his friend or whatever is on trial for being involved in his.
Ooh.
Yeah. So maybe that's why maybe it had nothing to do with your mom, and it was like literally your dad really fucks with Tupac, and it's just like finally the person is being brought to justice.
My dad's just a G. I never knew until this divorce.
Yeah. That's a funny thing to start your day with first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, what else? What else is going on?
Personally or in the world?
I guess we can do the personal stuff first.
Okay, well, and more breaking family news. My brother did like a gallery for not his art, for someone else's art, that he just like represents that artist. And so they had a gallery at a printer shop that my mom works at. I'm just going to be so candid here. My mom works at a printer shop, guys. And
I mean, there's lots of people have different jobs.
Sure.
Yeah.
And my brother had a gallery there, And it was a good turnout. Dolly Parton's sister showed up for some reason.
Oh yeah, I forgot about all the well-connected people there.
All the D-list people that showed up. And then she took a photo of me, like unbeknownst to me. Like I was like chilling, vaping outside, and she like just took a photo of me and sent it to my mother.
Yeah, that's interesting that she did that.
Like, okay, Susan Parton, like leave me alone.
Is that her name?
No, her name is something else, but I forgot, so I'm going with Susan. Pretty sure she has several sisters. It's Stella Parton.
Okay.
But the reality is that they don't speak. Dolly and Stella don't speak, but Stella gets like a check on the monthly from Dolly.
For what?
I don't know.
Just she's just being a homie.
But they're not. They don't speak. They don't have a relationship. Like it's bad.
Wow, I can't believe we're breaking that news for the first time ever on this podcast.
Dolly Parton doesn't speak to one of her sisters, but sends her monthly check.
She
The people need to know.
She has 6 brothers and 5 sisters, by the way.
Stella, Cassie, Randy, Larry, Floyd.
Willa Dean.
We can't forget Willa Dean.
Twins, Frida and Rachel, too.
Oh my God. Her parents were fucking boots.
Yep. Anyways, why does she... I wonder how much money she sends her.
It's got to be so little.
Was it more when they used to talk to each other?
I don't know. I don't know when that ended.
Well, you need to get the tea.
I'll be back.
You have such
They're
direct
having
access.
My brother's having another gallery in Bel Air printer shop on the 21st. So,
yeah. I mean, I saw pictures and it was kind of cute little gallery thing.
It was cute because I was there.
Oh yeah, that's why.
And they had crepes.
I love
And a live orchestra, which was really random. Somebody was getting married the following day, and so the rehearsal was happening on the sidewalk outside the printer shop.
Someone's getting married at the printer shop?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I was going to say, how fucking beautiful is this printer shop that, like, they're just having all the...
art galleries,
It's like a printer
weddings,
shop, but mostly a venue for...
graduations.
bat
Doja Cat's
mitzvahs.
performing there. Kim's performing there. I don't know if Kim Petras could sell out the printer shop.
The thing is, it's like...
Gagged her a bit.
I think it's a little misleading, or I don't know, maybe the hype just hasn't hit yet.
For Kim?
Yeah, like when you look at the available tickets and all of them are available.
For $20. Literally penny, nickel, quarter, penny, nickel, dime, quarter. And also...
But she's not performing to like empty venues.
We only see her posts.
I mean, if you really want to dive deep, you can see what other people who are there are posting.
Yeah, but there's not much to, like, there's not that. Yeah. Are we going to go? Are we going to go see Kim?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, just found out live on camera. I'm
you
going
found
to see
that,
Kim Petras.
You found that out last night.
I sent this to you. She was waiting at baggage claim at an airport. On tour.
Yeah, well, then that's confusing because she is like posting about her tour bus that she's not flying for the tour. She's on a bus.
Yeah, I said she's waiting at baggage claim with all the other plebs.
Yeah.
It's like, ain't you a Grammy winner?
She is.
Well, what are you doing at baggage claim?
I don't know. Maybe it was a photo op because she posted it to her main feed.
Not a photo op.
I mean,
at the LAX Carousel 3.
I truly don't understand because she's not flying for the tour.
Yeah, it's
so
just kind of like, it's like when Lana worked at the Waffle House that one time, caught working a shift at Waffle House.
An entire 8-hour shift.
Like I would have just saw her at the LAX and screamed like, "You don't belong here, bitch." You
would have done that.
No, I would have been like, "Oh my God, hey Kim, we've met before. I love your music."
Do you remember that one time we met? I've never stopped thinking about it.
She would do the Rihanna. She'd be like, "I still have it." And I'd be like, "I didn't give you anything."
Yeah, that's... Anyways, yeah, we're for sure going to go to Kim.
Okay. Front row. Barricade.
Yeah, probably.
All or nothing. It's not like it's going to be hard.
What's the venue? Is it the...
It's the YouTube theater.
Oh, the thing next to
the arena.
Well, listen, we need to, I mean...
It's the printer shop next to the arena.
nobody ever thought that she's not doing only a few people can do arenas. Like SZA's at the same venue, the YouTube theater.
SZA's at the YouTube theater?
Yeah.
But for like 20 times the price.
Not everybody can fill out an arena. Like there's probably only like 20 bands / artists right now that are capable of that. Anyways, so wait, do you want to get into some news really quickly?
Totes.
I just read about I just read a pretty funny article about something that's not funny at all.
What?
So I'm sure you've heard that July was like the hottest month on record.
Oh, brother.
Well, let's just talk about this. Where do you stand on global warming?
Fake news. Yeah.
No,
I was gonna rescind, but let me double down. Actually, fake ass news.
So it was the hottest. That was the hottest month on record, July, and then
to some,
yeah,
it's kind of just another day for me.
I love when they're like, you'll see something on Instagram and it'll be like record temperatures, and then in the comments people are like, well, it was raining where I'm at, so I don't know, like that. That's the only that's how it is everywhere. Whatever's happening when you look out your window, that's worldwide.
Well, sort of, kind of.
But then August was the hottest August ever, and September was the hottest September ever. And
who's saying this?
Just like scientists.
Well, source?
Well, this article, which was written by The Guardian, says the data sets are coming from European and Japanese scientists.
Now, when have we ever been able to trust Europeans or Japanese people?
I mean, that's a conversation for another day. Okay, well, that's so Zeke. And these
fuck ass name.
Yeah, so these are backing up like American scientists. So it's 3 data sets. All of them are saying the same thing. Zeke Housefather, who works in Berkeley in Northern California, said September was, in my professional opinion as a climate scientist, absolutely gobsmackingly bananas. Sir, are you trying to get anyone to take this seriously or not? Because you wonder why people call this fake news. Here's the headline of the entire article. Gobsmackingly bananas, scientists stunned by planet's record September heat.
Okay, well, as a professional expert in retardation, that's literally the craziest headline I've ever heard.
I just can't believe, like, are we, like, a lot of scientists are like really
gobsmackingly bananaed.
Yeah, bananaed. No, they're like, a lot of them are like very scared and upset and like are really trying their best to like get people to take it seriously. And then there's motherfuckers like this. Just why would you say that? Why would you say that sentence?
Global warming is gobsmackingly bananas. In
my professional opinion as a scientist, it's absolutely gobsmackingly bananas. So I just wanted to touch on that, and also
he was flabbergasted at these record temps.
Yeah, as we all are. Although I looked outside and it wasn't even that.
Yeah, I felt a breeze outside. So, can you really trust these scientists to be? I'm not gobsmacked.
No, and none of this is
to
bananas.
say the least.
None of this is bananas to me. Anywho,
my dating life.
Let's just get right. Speaking of gobsmackingly bananas.
Speaking of setting records for something terrible.
Truly.
Yeah.
What's been going on?
So, as we know, monogamy, not the most important thing for relationships in LA.
Yeah, the sexual revolution won. So.
We discovered that a couple weeks ago. Thank you, Grimes. Yeah, I went on a date with this guy from Hinge who claimed to want a relationship and even marriage and possibly even children. He's 25. He's from California, but he's from Orange County. Raging libtard.
Which is, I think it's rare out there.
I think growing up in Orange County made him a libtard.
Okay.
Which I'm trying to learn more about liberal culture, so I like actually was into that. What? You're
trying to, yeah, I mean, liberal culture is a very funny sentence.
Because, you know, everyone's always like, well, Obama did drone strikes too.
Yeah.
I looked up like how many drone strikes he did today.
Did you Google how many drone strikes did Obama do?
Yeah, no, I looked up like where were they?
And were you gobsmacked?
It was Gobsmackingly Bananas to find out that he did over 500 drone strikes.
Yeah, dude.
George Bush only did 57, and he was the president during 9/11. Like, what?
No,
that's like actually crazy. Because he literally initiated a 20-year-long war and only did 57 like drone strikes.
Yeah.
He probably like did terror in other forms.
Well, yeah, just like the good old fashioned like bombing,
ground war, guerrilla warfare. But like Obama did over 500 strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, and some other fuck ass place.
Yeah.
But just always been just a huge talking point because I always see people tweeting like, well, you know, Obama done drone strikes too, and I'm like, I looked it up and it was like 3 places, and in the whole like his whole presidency, between 400 and 800 civilians died from those drone strikes.
Wow.
Which,
so what is that? Who's like conservatives are the ones saying that?
Even libs love to be like talking about that. Well,
I mean, as well they should. I mean, I think everyone should be talking about that. or like today, Biden is waiving like 27 federal laws in Texas to allow them to build a border wall, like in the specific part that they've identified as being a place where like just a lot of illegal immigration is taking place. So there were laws that were like literally getting in the way of even being able to construct it, like the Clean Air Act and like environmental laws about the way it would be constructed. And he's like, you don't have to worry about that. Just build it. And the discourse around that is psychotic.
Okay, so we have a foundation laid for this guy I went on a date with now.
Yeah. Well, no. So did he bring that up? Did he bring up Obama's drone strikes?
No, it's just I didn't feel comfortable using the R slur in his presence.
Good. I mean, good. Although it's the renaissance for that, I heard.
Yeah.
The streets are saying
the R slur is having its renaissance.
The R slur is having its R word.
Streets are saying the renaissance is having its retardation. No, you always have to like sneak in a light slur on a first date just to like see if they're with the shits or not. Mm-hmm. We're so getting canceled.
Yeah. I'll usually do something related to Armenians.
Yeah,
just to like, I'll put that in there to test the waters.
But they have a heavy pop in LA.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. No, I don't. I've never used a slur in my life.
Me neither. Yeah, anyways, I was into this guy and like we had a really good time. The date was like 6 hours and then
caught a
major vibe and then didn't really hear from him for a hot minute. I texted him on 9/11 because we did like our date was like 3 days before 9/11 and then on 9/11 I was like, hey, LOL. Clearly, like, I want you if I'm saying, hey, LOL on 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you can send a stronger signal than that.
Like, I couldn't have made it clearer. And he didn't respond until the following day, which was then now my personal 9/11.
Right.
And he said, hey, what's up? And I was like, just wondering if you want to hang out on Thursday. It's now Tuesday at this point, which is his fault. It's his fault that it's Tuesday. And I said, we're going to hang out Thursday. He was like,
You were when you hit him up on 9/11, you were gonna ask if he wanted to hang out on Thursday.
Yes.
But he.
Now I sound crazy because I'm asking to hang out 2 days from now. But like, if you had responded Monday morning when I texted you, it would have been like
3 days.
Would have been like 3.5 at that point. Yeah, these things matter. And
so
he was like, I'm free Thursday night. Thursday night came and motherfucking went, and I never heard from him. Then I texted him again the next week, and I'm like, are we gonna see each other again? He's like, yeah, sure. Like, Saturday's nice. We can hang by my pool. I go, it's mid, kinda. And he alludes to like a third date by being like, next time I'll come to your neighborhood. And I'm like, okay, cool. Haven't heard from him since.
Well, and also, didn't he post, like, in the midst of being completely non-communicative?
Right. In between the first and second date, he posted a TikTok on his Instagram story that was like a clown dancing with like circus music or whatever. And it was like me, the caption on the already made TikTok, like he didn't make it, but it said me after re-downloading Hinge thinking it's going to be different this time. I was like, what the fuck? You're actively ignoring me when I literally asked you to hang out this week, and then you post this on your main story. It's kind of crazy. And he was watching my Instagram stories on the daily, like this entire time, mind you. Like while
so he was not responding to your text, but watching your stories and posting shit about how
re-downloading Hinge.
Yeah.
And I know like I might be crazy because it was one date, but I don't think people grasp the vibe that we caught.
Clearly not. I mean, no,
I wouldn't be tweaking if there weren't a vibe in the air.
Right. Well, and it's also about like, it's literally about taking people for like at face value when they say shit like, I'm looking for a relationship.
Marriage? Like, that's kind of a big deal because I'm looking for that too. Right. I'm about to be 23. I'm running out of time. I'm going to be 23 in 11 days. Like, this shit isn't a joke anymore.
Yeah, and you said, you've always said you wanted to get married before 23. So
we've got 11 days.
The clock is ticking.
Every second iPod is a second one gone to
a second closer to being alone marriage. Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not even just the vibe, but it's also like there's just a thing I feel like where people in LA are either like, I don't know if it's like wishful thinking or are just like saying what they think you want to hear, or
yeah, because I genuinely believe he wants those things, but then I'm like, what's going on right now? Because even the ones who, most of them are straight up like, I just want sex, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah,
I guess I can't say no. And then
oh, you can.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'll
have to try. Yeah,
give it a try.
And then even the guys who are like, yeah, like I actually want a relationship. He literally said, I'm not like other gay dudes. Like I'm not like, I don't go out a lot. I just want to like be like my other friends who have long-term relationships. And I was like, that's crazy because that's like how I feel. I don't want to say like I'm not like other gays because like what? But like,
yeah,
he literally said that. And then he's still like, you have me like pining after you.
Yeah, and just fully initiating every opportunity to see where it goes. And then he before the second date, he said something like, "It's been a crazy week" or something.
Yeah, well, his cat did almost die. I'll give him that. He had to pay like several $1,000s to save his cat's life because his cat had the flu and was in the vet for 2 nights, and it cost him like over $3,000, I think he said. And he said his parents don't help him, so it was like his own
I'm
money.
letting the cat die. I'm sorry.
I have to let the cat die at that point. I literally don't have a choice. Like
financially, I don't have a choice.
He said it as if he was like, he was talking about gas prices have gone up 50 cents. Like he was like, yeah, it was like $3,000.
Oh, by the way, gas prices, you should probably let your dad know. Gas prices are about to plummet. They're saying it's going to go under $3.
In California?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Biden. Hey. I'm going to suck President Biden's dick for that, if that's true.
Yeah, and he's the one that sets oil prices. So.
Yeah, he just chooses them on the daily, right?
Yeah, he's just like, you know what I was thinking? Why don't we just lower them?
I'm literally going to spit in his ass and gargle his balls if it goes below $3. Because that'd be crazy.
That's elder abuse. He's like 85 years old. You can't do stuff like that.
He can do it to me too.
But that would be elder abuse too, because he wouldn't know what he was doing.
Okay.
Anyways. So he was like, man, the price of keeping your cat alive sure has gone up a lot.
That was the vibe. And I was like, okay, well, this can't be that big of a deal. Because I literally would like be having a gun to my pigtail like about this like Doja reference, I guess. You want to fucking get it.
I've listened. I just
Agora Hills.
Yeah, I've listened to
Girls
that
hate too. Gun to their pigtail.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Ask for the big bill. Anyways.
Just do the whole song.
It's like a little dick in the bathroom. Yeah, no. I don't know. He was just like, yeah, it's been a crazy week. Got to save my cat, blah, blah, blah. I haven't heard from him, but he's still watching my Instagram stories. And I posted a hot selfie yesterday. Mm-hmm. I've been posting good photos lately, not for him, but I've just kind of been giving lately.
You're out here with Dolly Parton's sister, literally taking photos of you snatched as fuck.
What more do you want from me? Like, what more do you want?
And you're fucking kikiing with Brad Pitt's private jet coordinator.
Literally. My brother had a gallery of the artists he represented, and Dolly Parton's sister showed up, and Brad Pitt's private jet coordinator bought one of the prints. And then Dolly Parton's sister took a photo of me looking snatched. And you don't want to marry me?
When you put it that way, I mean,
it's like I'm husband material, right?
Your life is a movie.
A YouTube Red original.
A straight to DVD. It's in that.
Not even TV.
It's in the bin at Target where it's just $5 and whichever one you.
It's on one of those carts that's like give a book, take a book, like. Like you don't even pay
a free
anything.
DVD, and it's DVD too. It's not Blu-ray.
And there's no sleeve inside.
You're gonna have to buy it.
The CD.
You're gonna have to buy a DVD player because you don't own one.
So why does no one want to marry me?
Yeah, well, and also, so the question I have, I guess, just like the question to the universe, or the question
for the culture.
Yeah, is like it's totally okay if someone doesn't like you, right? Like not everyone's gonna be into everybody, and like yes, you're awesome and have a lot to offer and are good looking and all of the other stuff, but like maybe there wasn't as much of a vibe. Maybe that's, let's just say maybe that's the case.
But at what point do you draw the line for ghosting?
Well, first and foremost, even before the ghost, because like there was no vibe from his perspective. We're just speaking hypothetically. He didn't catch a vibe. He ghosts you, but then like unghosts you and then hangs out another time, still isn't into it, right? To me, that's kind of okay. But why are you saying all the things you're saying that are the direct opposite?
Yeah, that's tea. And on the second date, when I went over to his house, I gave him so many opportunities to like let me leave because I was just testing the waters. Like at some point he was like, I have a dinner at 8 with some friends who were like from out of town. And I was like, oh, well, I like to decompress before like I go out. So like, if you want, like I can go.
Yeah.
And it was like 4 p.m. and we had already been hanging out for like 2 hours. And he was like, no, like I don't want to kick you out. Like just like let's keep talking and stuff. And
yeah, I was those are the things where, especially when you're giving someone an out, those are the things that don't make sense. And I've been in this situation plenty of times with dates, and especially like the verbiage, the kind of like when you get into the topic, when you get meta about it and are talking about dating on a date.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, all the things you hate, I hate that shit too. And then are like, I'm just looking for this, this, and this. And it's like, everything you've done since then has proved to be the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So why are you saying that?
But maybe that was my downfall, was just saying like, yeah, we have the exact same goals. We're looking for the exact same thing at the same exact moment. Because then they'd be like, well, we could easily just like get together and probably have no problems. At least right at the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like you're like, there'd be no chase, I guess. Because we both have been, it's like 2 dates only. We've already been extremely upfront about our goals and like what we want. And it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, is that such a bad thing though?
Clearly.
Well, the downfall wouldn't have been the downfall if any of his actions backed up feeling that way.
Well, how long has it been?
Wait. We're not going back here mentally. Well, maybe he will get back to me.
I don't even have his number saved. Like, I can't keep scrolling until I find it again. But it's been a solid week and a half, probably.
Yeah, but that's the cultural question that I'm asking is why does that happen? And is that an LA thing? Why does it happen that people are saying what they think you want to hear, or like almost like saying the things that they know make them stand out or make them different, and when it's not how they feel at all? Like, and it's even crazier in this specific scenario. Like, he re-downloaded Hinge, went on it, like if that meme that he posted was true, went on a date, had a good date with good chemistry, and then he's the one feeling disillusioned about this when he's the one that ghosted you. Like, what is he talking about? He's the one that's like, oh, I'm an idiot for even trying to re-download.
And
like,
let it be known, I hide my crazy so well. Like, he doesn't like suspect.
He has no idea.
All of these thoughts that we've like are talking about right now, he doesn't suspect a single one, because like I've just been so chill.
Yeah.
When we talk. So, what is the truth?
I don't
know. Oomph told me that New York it would be worse. That it'd be harder to date.
Really?
Yeah. Because I moved to the city looking for the 2 L's. Labels and love. And I have a knack for the labels, so I don't know what's
what is
so
this,
difficult.
Under Armour?
Clearly. Under Armour with Brandy Melville shorts.
Brandon Melville?
Yeah, we were talking about how we need to open a male Brandy Melville.
Yeah.
Brandy Melville.
Brandon Melville. So stupid.
Because where is a skinny, thin, snatched guy like me supposed to get clothes that fit?
Well, yeah, and I've always said there's not enough body dysmorphia amongst men in that way. So
I'm carrying it all on my shoulders.
And the great thing about Brandy Melville is like, I've only ever been to Brandy Melville with a girl I was dating, like going shopping. I'm not hanging out at Brandy Melville's, but I've seen them, and it's one size. They're all small, and they just have the skinniest girls working there that don't give a fuck about you at all. And it's so toxic.
Those are my sisters in Christ.
Yeah. So let's get a male version of that. Anyways, that's a total aside. What did Oomph say about New York specifically? Were there specifics, or just that it's all the same problems but worse?
Low-key, Oomph is Jack Antonoff.
Low-key?
Because Jack Antonoff said kind of the same thing along those lines.
That this is the lowest point in...
Yeah, that there's no center for culture in New York right now.
So true.
Which is what the problem with dating is. Like, no one has anything new to say, I guess. They're all just like regurgitating opinions of other people.
Yeah, I no, it is, and people are like people are crafting these personas in order to like be dateable that aren't in line with who they are. I saw this thing, and I think this is specifically like a straight thing.
Sorry, I got the shivers.
But you can tell me otherwise. But there's like this trend on like Tinder and all the dating apps where men have learned that if they put that they're currently going to therapy in their profiles, that like they get more matches, like that women are into it. And it's like, if that's not missing the point more, I don't.
That psychotherapy puss.
Yeah. It started with men who are like actually seeking to better themselves and doing the work to like heal.
Haven't met one yet.
Going to therapy. And then other men being like, yo, why are all these guys...
Girls love this.
Yeah. And the article I read did like a very hasty like kind of poll. And it was like over 50% of men who put in therapy on their thing are not currently going to therapy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe in therapy, so...
Therapy, global warming. Same thing.
If I see a man, if I'm on a dating profile and I see a man's in therapy, I'm swiping like away from him.
Immediate red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine needing therapy.
Narcissistic, self-indulgent, pretentious. Why do you, as a man, even know what that is?
Yeah. Why are you spending your disposable income on that instead of me?
Why do you need an objective point of view on your lifestyle? You should be secure enough in it.
You should be steadfast in your own views and know that you're infallible and nothing about your view could ever be wrong because they're your views.
Yeah.
So true.
So yeah, men should never be in therapy. And that's not a joke. I'm not just saying that to be funny. Yeah.
I love that form
so what
of
did Jack Antonoff
that form of doubling down to say
what did a real man have to say about New York?
Jack Antonoff, the real man.
He said any New York City scenes going on, there's no real center to them. There's no great artistic export. He said that in the early 2000s is pretty much like the best time of Dime Square, which is a play on Times Square, which is a neighborhood in Manhattan that is
and he
mediated to death.
Well, and so he was speaking about music specifically being like an earnest art form, and that New York is losing that, and it's been replaced with toxic podcasts. Is that?
Yeah. So this is the quote. What's the export, he says? What's the book? What's the band? The toxic podcast can't be the genius cultural export. Antonoff finds the cynicism of said toxic podcast. I used to work at a bar on Franklin, a show hosted by Patrick Daly and Scott Hall that's been associated by some critics with the new right to be boring on a level that can't even be described.
The way that just swapping out the name and it applies to us is so funny.
Because you just know where it ends every single time, and where it ends is not in the center of the circle. It's not at the heart of things, and there's no such thing as cynical music.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't think so, but
who has cynical music?
I mean, it depends on what you like. What are you being cynical about? And in the same way that like,
well, we're talking about dating now, so I guess it could be about.
Well, but let's talk about what he was talking about. And are we gonna say the actual podcast that he was?
Oh yeah, he's like my Red Scare.
Yeah. So Red Scare is cynical about things that music would never be cynical about.
What?
Like, they're cynical about modern society, culture. But I mean, I guess that
the geopolitical climate of U.S. Middle East relations.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't hear a lot of songs about that now, do you?
They're cynical about the Me Too movement. I haven't heard a song about that.
About the Me Too movement?
Yeah, it's cynical.
Well, some trend I've kind of noticed with recent women albums are like there's one random song about like being a bad bitch, just like women in general. I noticed it on Doja Cat's album.
Yeah.
I noticed it on Miley's album. And then I think there's like one on Olivia Rodrigo's new album. Like there's just like one song that's about like women being badass or something.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop.
Well, low-key, Doja's entire album is about how she, like, I think she calls herself a bad bitch in every song.
Herself, but this one was like about women in general. And they say like she, like Miley's song says like she is a Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, where they're referring to women in like third person.
And Red Scare simply would never
Would never
do.
Imagine Dasha being like, she's a bad bitch, she's a Wonder Woman.
She would only ever say those words if she was being the most sarcastic that you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the genius cultural export of any location could ever be a podcast. Can it? Like, for that to be the pinnacle of art being created?
Too lowbrow.
Any podcast is too niche. Like, podcasts in general are niche by definition. Like, there's no mass appeal. everyone has their own thing that they like listening to. Like, even, what's the biggest podcast? Is it Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
And that's still a niche.
Yeah.
Like, it's the biggest podcast in the world.
Like, I don't know anyone who has sat down and listened to one full episode of the Joe Rogan podcast.
I don't know of anyone. It wouldn't surprise me if they were, if we were in their midst.
If they were DL.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan listeners.
But yeah, podcasts are just not really an art form.
No.
It's not art. What we are doing right now is not art. We're not creating art.
This is.
This
right behind us is
this
the art.
Poster I bought off Etsy for $100 is art.
Well, sort of, kind of.
Quoting. But yeah, I mean, I think you could. The thing that Jack was talking about, I think, was comparing eras. But I think as a whole, you can kind of talk about the collective dumbing down of cultural exports right now,
which begins with men. The leaders of our society, when they get dumbed down, everyone just follows in
yeah, I mean, they've been dumb, which is the crazy thing, but
yeah, just once I just want a woman to be president. Just see what happens. Maybe Biden will die after the gas prices go down. Maybe he's just...
That's the only way we could have a woman
Maybe
president.
he knows he's going to die, so he's just like, fuck it. Like, type the $3.
Delete a couple zeros.
And then, Kamala Harris is going to be president.
Do I detect some...
cynicism?
Yeah.
No. But she was a cop.
Is this going to end where it always ends? And not at the heart of things, this podcast? This episode?
Doesn't end in the heart, it ends in the fucking asshole. We're just shitting out words.
Yeah. No, literally. I mean, this could be among our worst episodes we've ever shot. But it's video. That's the thing about these cultural exports. Everything is more accessible than it's ever been, including the ability. Like, we're so fragmented into such small communities, but have the ability to interact with the other communities. And we've kind of talked about this on an episode last season, but everyone can make a podcast if they want to.
Well, the thing is, there's so many people on Earth that the more specific you get with what you're talking about, paradoxically, the more universal it becomes. Yeah,
to an extent, for sure.
So I don't see anything. I think podcast is an art, because who else is gonna get their voice out there?
Who else is gonna say exactly what we're saying
and look just like us?
Psst, there's 2 other people that can and will do it. At least 2 other.
Brandon Melville.
Brandon Melville. Let's Google that phrase and see if anyone's ever made that joke before. Because, or maybe there's just someone named Brandon Melville.
That sounds like a Nathan For You episode. Like, he would make the male version of a Brandy Melville store.
Yeah.
As like a joke. And then I would unironically shop there.
Yeah.
Has anyone said it?
No, nobody's ever said that before.
Okay, so there's your fucking proof that podcasts are cultural exports. Because
no, I'm not saying that they're not exports. I'm just saying that we're not making culture right now. 2 white guys with a podcast.
But we are permeating it.
Whether you fucking want us to or not. No, but I mean...
we don't have a modern Shakespeare. Except for like Ice Spice.
Well, it's funny that you bring up Shakespeare, because there's that like thought experiment about infinity, that given an infinite amount of time, an infinite amount of monkeys banging on typewriters will produce the entire works of Shakespeare, right?
Monkeys?
Yeah, just like if you had monkeys in a room and they all had typewriters and they're just going randomly pressing buttons, over enough amount of time, they would accidentally produce the entire works of Shakespeare. And that's kind of what podcasts are right now.
That's why we keep recording, because we might just accidentally say
literally
something important.
Are there infinite podcasts? There might be.
Will be.
There will be an infinite amount of podcasts. And like, if you collected the information from all of the podcasts, they're held within would be the entire works of Shakespeare.
It's like that movie where Scarlett Johansson like accesses more than just 10% of her brain.
Yeah, when she like becomes a computer or whatever.
If you put every thought from every podcast into like one brain and then put it inside of me,
you would commit suicide immediately.
You would look like fucking... You haven't seen Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
All of it?
Yeah, have they?
Even the new special that came out a few months ago?
No, I didn't watch that.
Okay, so you're a fucking liar. You haven't seen all of it. But you know how it ends with... What's the fuck is his face?
The main character, Eren Yeager.
Eren Yeager. With him, that's like what you would look like.
Yeah, okay.
When he's the big Titan.
If you were able to listen to every podcast.
You would look like Eren Yeager. At the end of Attack on Titan.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe that was the point of it all.
That's why we're here.
That's the cultural export. But what do we think about, I mean, we don't even have to get into it, but
What?
where do you stand on what Red Scare does for culture?
It doesn't do shit for culture. I'm gonna be real.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But we'd love to be on the podcast, guys, if you...
Always, like, I love them, but it's not doing anything for the culture. I mean, it's actively working against it.
Yeah. It's actively tearing down the structures in place that serve nothing but to benefit art. Yeah, well, I mean, let's see what happens. I kind of, even though I think Jack Antonoff is like in his own way not producing, like he's not really one to talk in terms of the music he makes, I feel like.
Yeah, he said, because he's quoted in the article saying, "I've never made anything hoping everyone likes it." And
right,
I was like,
which
is that true?
It can't be true because...
Works exclusively with Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
Lorde, Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure there's a portion of him that is like earnestly doing what he likes, but like he's steering in a certain direction, and the direction is like commercial success.
Although that might be true about like his own music, like with his band or whatever that he makes.
Oh yeah.
Because I never hear shit about that. I never hear anyone like put on Jack Antonoff.
Yeah,
you know,
true. So he, but regardless, it's
bleachers.
Yeah. Regardless, I kind of think he's right. Not specifically about this one part of New York or like New York as a city, but just like almost across the board culturally.
Right about what?
About like that the heyday is over.
Yeah.
The best is either behind us or ahead of us, but it's not the fuck right now.
The party is over, and that's why I just want to get married. Do you
That's
think
such a terrible reason to want to get married.
Do you think that more people are going to want to get married as they realize that there's no scene left in the big cities?
I mean,
New York is supposed to be the center of the civilized world, and LA is supposed to be surfer town / filmmaking, and now no one's making movies because everyone's been on strike, and it's been cloudy all summer. And then in New York,
so global warming's not real.
In New York, global warming isn't real. And then in New York, you have men in therapy, and you have fucking Red Scare, and like it's just where the hell can you go?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're kind of seeing things from the perspective of the way the people I went to high school with saw things, and were just like, fuck it, let's just have kids and get married.
I think I'm finally there.
Well, you're at the age that they were when they when they did it. No, if you live in a major city, you left a hometown full of people that got married.
But that's the thing; they never gave it a chance. They never gave it. Those people never like gave the bigger cities a chance. I frequently go to like New York, and I live in LA, and it's like neither are really giving at the moment.
Yeah, it's almost like the world isn't giving right now.
Should we kill ourselves? Because even you look at Lana Del Rey, and this bitch is going to like Franklin, Tennessee,
Right.
and like Birmingham, Alabama, just to like fuck around and like drive around.
Yeah.
And she's like super rich, and she can't even be bothered to like be spending time in the like LA or whatever, let alone New York. She's from New York and she lives in Venice.
Right.
And she like would rather be in like Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I mean, I can really relate to that. I mean, I've also been to all those cities. I've gone on several cross-country road trips and like stopped in every.
Maybe that's what I need.
It's a risky time to do that.
Why?
Just like this political climate right now.
Oh yeah, we were in my class. We were talking about the history of like memes, or like why are memes so prevalent in this political climate. And my teacher said, what do you guys think? And I like unmuted myself on Zoom, and I was like, because you'll get jumped if you say that shit in real life. And he was like, so true, so true. I was like, yeah, people can say whatever the fuck they want online. And then he like pulled up, he's showing us how, because the next essay we have to write is like trends in media. So this is actually very all relevant to what I have to write about. But it's trends in media, like phenomenons, and like what we think the
trans in media.
Trends.
Oh, trends. Okay. Thank God.
And we have to write what we think the causes are for these trends. So honestly, maybe I'll fucking write about Red Scare. But
well, the thing about Red Scare is they lean in, like what you're talking about, the anonymity, like allowing people to just say the craziest shit. They don't give a fuck about that. They're like completely unanonymous, and they're like they're like, I'm gonna be here on this day at this time, this like location. Pull up if you want to murder me. Yeah. I'd love to see you motherfucking try.
Literally. But yeah, we were talking about like memes or whatever, and he pulls up these memes, and they're literally from like the early 2000s. Like it's like that one with the white girl like staring crazily into the camera, and then one of like that ginger when it's like the yearbook
like the
photo.
Original meme where it's like words on top and words on bottom.
Top text, bottom text,
yeah.
And then there's like that little chubby kid like flicking someone off or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like all of those, and I was like, when you say memes, this is not what it is anymore.
Well, if he's like thinking of it from like a historic perspective, then I guess that is where it started.
Yeah, but like they didn't even mention 4chan, and because he was showing us an example essay kind of thing and like how they got there, and I was like, how are you not going to bring up 4chan if you're talking about the origins of and like lore of memes? And
yeah,
also
4chan
I was like,
is where it started.
Because when you say memes for me now, it's like I literally think of the Autumn girl. Like white girl Autumn or whatever. Yeah. You know how she's like blowing up on TikTok? It's like I pictured the photo of her photoshopped into like the cockpit of an airplane, and it's flying into the like towers.
That's what.
And she's holding like a pumpkin spice latte as she like steers a jet into the World Trade Center. It's like that. Like it takes so many layers of being on Twitter for so long to understand a lot of the memes that I find funny.
God, that just has to be doing such irreparable psychological damage.
It has to. Which is why when I have kids with my husband, probably like next year, they're not gonna be tablet kids or like phone kids.
Yeah.
They're gonna be out in the record heat and
in the gobsmackingly
bananas heat, having fun and using their imagination. Unlike I currently do at all.
Yeah, well, I guess this is ending where it always ends.
Right in the center of things.
Boring in a way that can't even be described. I mean, we are at time though, so thanks for listening, guys.
If that guy I went on 2 dates with was listening, I'd still go on a third.
Yeah, so hit him up.
Please.
If we get 10,000 listeners, we're gonna commit suicide on the season finale. So something to look forward, something to shoot for.
We're gonna do 9/11, but big. Saw that joke from Oomph.
Oomph who
said that to me last night on FaceTime.
and who probably agrees with Jack Antonoff about New York. Anyways, thanks for listening. You can find us on Spotify and YouTube if you want to watch the video, and Apple Podcasts if you want to just listen like a fucking idiot.
Pussy loser. If you don't want to be the center of things.
If you don't want to be ending up where it always ends. I just love that. It's so sad. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.
See you at the next cultural export.
Maybe we'll have a guest, God willing, because
God fucking willing.
We need a guest so bad. But if not, it'll just be us again. So thanks, guys. See you next week. Bye.